Welcome to episode 121 of Rebirth Revolution. My name is Melissa Olson. This week we will wrap up the resolutions for 2022. This next one may surprise you. New Year's resolution number 6 is pull out of the loop of fixing and/or improving yourself. I realize that sounds counterintuitive. Aren't all resolutions about fixing and improving yourself? What I'm talking about is the culturally assigned narratives of what you need to do to be accepted and ultimately held in high esteem by those far and wide. We need to reject all of the superficial measures of what makes us good, what makes us appear to have it all together, what makes us right in the eyes of others. Those would include all the methods required to become thin, rich, famous, and universally adored. In addition to those descriptors, we need to have a perfectly clean and organized house, a pristine lawn, the latest cool car, the best clothes, all of the things that you see in commercials and on social media. And of course, we are supposed to be surrounded by people who also uphold these standards. But all of this is superficial. All of these demands have the effect of demanding all of our attention. And all of these standards are ones we are supposed to be able to uphold during a global pandemic? How insane is that? On top of all these time-honored cultural demands, they have now thrown on top of that meditation and the instantaneous peace and enlightenment that it will surely bring should you do it correctly. That is, if you can find the 20 minutes to do it in between throwing in a load of laundry and getting dinner started. It's all too much. Enough is enough. The messaging we receive about our need to achieve all of these practices comes with a heavy load of shaming. We are not supposed to feel all right about ourselves if we don't do all of this that is also monetized. It costs us our hard-earned cash to try to have and be all of these things. This leaves people in a position where they need to work more hours to be able to afford to buy everything that they need to seem like they are just fine, which leaves much less time to actually be fine. The problem with all of these edicts is that they presume that you, in the state you have achieved at this point, are hopelessly broken, incomplete, and unworthy of a beautiful life. Or for you to need so much more stuff or so many more achievements for your life to be meaningful and for you to be successful at being a human. That is a lie. You are fine. You have done so much already. You need to pull out of the spiral of thinking that you will not be okay until you achieve whatever the ultimate superficial measurement of your humanity happens to be on any given day, because reaching the end of any superficial achievement can only lead you to feeling that you must still need to do more because you haven't obtained the nirvana that was promised. And the measurements of your self-worth tend to change, just like any other fleeting notion of style. It's all a con. You are constantly being sold a bill of goods about that one last thing you need to do or buy that will get you over the goal line. But once you get there, the rewards are fleeting. And this leads to you thinking that there must be something else, something you could have done better or done more of, because you don't have any sustainable proof that you are, in fact, a better person. You haven't magically been put back together. The pain you carry around has not been healed. You have not reached a level of perfection that insulates you from everything else in life. But what if you are perfect right now? What if you are just as you are meant to be right in this moment? What would you feel if you could embrace that? How many fewer things would you need to buy or do? This capitalism-driven culture tends to make us focus on ourselves too much, and worse yet, to focus on the least meaningful parts of ourselves. What could you do with all the excess time and energy and money you would have left over if you took all of the striving off your plate? What would it feel like to remove all self-criticism? Who could you be if you no longer cared about the judgment of others? Could you achieve that ever-elusive self-acceptance? You are here running your own race. You have a finite amount of energy and focus. What could you do with that energy and focus if you just ran your own race and stopped comparing your life to the curated images of other people's lives? What if you could free up all the time in each day when you are driven to comparing yourself to others? We have ample evidence that the efforts required to play this perfectionism game do not have a great payoff. How many people who have crafted perfect images ended up feeling that they could no longer even live in this world, let alone keep up the facade? It takes a toll, all this perfectionism. It takes a toll because it isn't honest, and it elevates the inconsequential. It takes a toll because it denies the basic truths about being human and just how difficult life is for all people. Pull out. Pull out of the flow of this culture that suggests you are not okay just as you are. You, right in this moment, are a miracle. You are the person that your ancestors dreamed of. Here is the last resolution for 2022. Resolution number 7 is, ask for your lessons to be delivered the moment you are ready for them. You are here to learn and to grow. That takes place when you make choices. The choices you make are attached to your lessons. Let's say that you have a situation come up that you consider to be challenging. The situation calls into question your honesty, integrity, empathy, and humility. This is hardly a hypothetical, since we all face challenges all the time, both challenges big and small. Your first best move is to do some deep breathing and recognize that the moment is a lesson in the making. You have the opportunity to either make a choice that reflects the best of your abilities at honesty, integrity, empathy, and humility, or you have the choice to leave those out of the equation entirely. This is a lesson and a test of sorts. Your choice will either demonstrate your ability to move to a higher level, or your choice will illuminate the part of that lesson that you still need to master. None of this is judgmental or punitive. It's just how this stuff works. You either pass it and move up, or you learn more about the level you currently inhabit, learning to fully embody the wisdom of that level so the next time you can choose better, demonstrating a higher level of awareness. All of this is movement. All of this is progress. All of this is in service of your spiritual growth. Since the last resolution freed up a bunch of your time and attention, I want you to reclaim that time and attention for what really matters, the choices you make. There is nothing superficial about that. It is the work you are here to do. It is the important flow of life and your own personal progress that truly matter. The choices you make can be so small. They aren't all major crossroads. Most of them will be small moments when you can either demonstrate kindness towards yourself and others, or you can choose to abandon your highest self. Some days are tougher than others, as you may have to make dozens of these choices while just trying to get through the day. Spend a day with toddlers or teenagers, and you'll be called to these flashpoints over and over again. It can be exhausting. Part of the lie that comes with focusing on superficial improvements is the notion that we will then have peace and all of life will be wonderful. That never happens, at least not for long. We are here in this constantly changing, chaotic earth school. No one can ever achieve lasting and eternal bliss. That's not what we're here for. We are here to learn and grow. To think that any achievement here gets you to the end is like telling an elementary school child that once they learn their times tables, they will have it all figured out. Anything you get figured out just makes you capable of learning the next lesson. There is no end to the lessons. You are not here to just be a lifelong learner. You are here to be a multiple lifelong learner. That shouldn't be a bad thing in your mind, because think of how glorious it is every time you figure something out. It feels so great in that moment, and unlike superficial things, the act of absorbing and embodying wisdom is something that can't be taken away from you. And each move to a higher level brings with it more wisdom, a sunnier outlook, and less chaos in your mind. A life of lacking awareness is not pleasant by any measure. The adventure you are on offers you an endless series of aha moments that just keep building and building upon themselves. All of these real accomplishments are yours to keep. They stay with you in this lifetime and any that follow. The same cannot be said for cars or clothes or the perfect body. None of those hold up over the course of time. You have come so far, not far enough to coast, but far enough to rest when you need to and reflect on your accomplishments. You should take great pride in your journey. You have built up so much wisdom. Be happy for every opportunity you have to build up more. Thanks for sticking around for the New Year's resolutions for 2022. I realize that this year has gotten off to a somewhat rocky start. The framework within which you are doing your work does not seem optimal, but if you look at history, it has never been without tragedy, fear, and strife. That's just what we have to work with here. It may seem like complete chaos out there, but that's not unusual either. We are, as a collective culture, moving forward. Whenever it doesn't seem that way, spend some time watching old movies or tap into some history. Most of what is now unthinkable has already happened to or been done by our ancestors. Our ancestors were victims of atrocities, and many were perpetrators. Go back through any family tree, and you will find those who suffered harm and those who inflicted harm. Almost all lives include both. As a people, we have a very complicated history. But just as we need to own our own past choices, we too need to own and understand the choices of our ancestors. That is the only way to right the wrongs. And we can't fully move forward without righting the wrongs. The people who are working feverishly to ensure that the past never comes to light are working at the low levels of spiritual awareness. They cannot yet take in their own lives what happened because of the choices they previously made, nor can they deal with the choices that their ancestors made. If they don't want you to know the true history, there has to be a reason. It can't be because they know or believe that their ancestors had clean hands. If they thought that, they would be shouting the true history from the rooftops. The efforts to cover up the past just keep us from moving forward. No whitewashed accounting can undo what has been done. All of the choices that the ancestors made created karma. That karma will have to be dealt with in ways that we can't fully imagine. I suspect that those who are trying to cover up the past know this deep down inside. The thing is that the ancestors may have done horrific things that they got away with in the times that they lived. The horrific was often legal and considered acceptable by those in power. But that doesn't eliminate the need for the balance, accountability, and lessons that naturally come with karma. Dealing with the karma of our past offers the opportunity to heal and make this place a bit brighter and closer to what we are trying to achieve. Dealing with the karma of our past fits in nicely with getting our lessons as soon as we are ready. This is the time. We are ready. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Thanks for returning for another week of Rebirth Revolution. You are such a bright light in this crazy world. You are moving the needle with your choices, and for that we are all grateful. The fact that you are still here and plugging away is a testament to your strength and resilience. Please make sure you add that to your resume of achievements. You can always let me know how you're doing by emailing me at rebirthrev@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Rebirth Revolution can be found on all the podcast apps, the music apps, and full episodes can be found on YouTube and our Facebook page. Please subscribe, download, and share whenever possible. Until next week, love yourself for who you are today. Keep making good choices. Get vaccinated, wear an N95 mask, and order your free test kits. And take the rest that you need. Remember, you are loved exactly as much as every other person on the planet. Not 1 ounce more or 1 ounce less. Stay strong and safe and ready for whatever comes next. Welcome to episode 121 of Rebirth Revolution. My name is Melissa Olson.